Okay. Oh, pocket. Here. Got me? Hey, buddy. There we go. Hey. Still struggling. Come on.
All right. Here we go. Praise God. It's good to see you. So praise the Lord. Let's try to get right to it because I got a lot to cover. So basically the first year went pretty good. And, other than, the normal stuff, but we get into year two, and one of the first things that happens is that we go to open up the pool, and okay, number one, let's start here. Bobby, the guy that owned the house before us, had a real issue with, he was good at taking care of the yard. I'll give it. That guy, awesome at taking care of the yard. But he had a real problem with construction and truth. And we didn't know this. So we're sitting at the closing table buying this house. And I'm sitting there and I'm telling him, hey, thank you so much for leaving all the stuff that you did. There was 4 5-gallon drums of stain for the deck that was still in the garage and looked like they had never been opened. There was also a yard roller that was back there. And now when we bought the house, like I said, it was winter, so the pool was closed and we couldn't see. We didn't have him take the cover off so we could inspect the liner. And we should have, because he told us that the liner was only a couple of years old. After we purchased the house, opened up the pool that first summer for the kids, and obviously that liner was at probably 10 years old. It was already faded, had very little patterns that was still recognizable. So it was really old. The cans of stain that were in the garage that I thought were stain was all 5 of those 5-gallon tanks were full of motor oil. Oh man, all of them full of motor oil. And then the shed that he built in the backyard, instead of bringing the low corner, because the grade kind of sloped away where he put the shed. So instead of building up on the low side to keep the entire shed above ground, they elected to dig away at the high side of the grade and stick the shed into about 6 inches of dirt. So, and then out of just sheer genius, they take these pavers and they put these pavers around the shed and put rocks and gravel and a flower bed. And so by the time it was all said and done, the shed was probably about that deep into the ground. And we're talking about particle board here. Okay. So it's just soaking up water. Every time it rains, it's just soaking up water. A freaking mess, a mess. So at this point, it's literally imploding. It's falling down and needs to be replaced. So that's one of the things still on my list to do. But regardless, Bobby just wasn't real good with construction or telling the truth. So anyway, year 2 comes around, and the very first thing that happens is we take the cover off the pool, and the pool liner has ripped in, I think it was 3 corners, in 3 different corners it had ripped. And it's just, the liner has gotten so old and so brittle that it's not supporting it's not taking the stretch no more that the water's putting on it. And, and it ripped right in the corners. So now we have a mosquito pond in our backyard, and it is about June, and we still haven't had the pool guys out to put the new liner in. The new liner was $2,500, and I just love how kids they're just they don't know nothing about money or anything else, and the first thing the little girl said when they saw the pool, well, okay, well, we're going to get new, and so when you guys going to have that put in? Just they don't know. So anyway, so we're trying to get this we're trying to get the liner done. We're on the schedule. We're waiting for that to happen, and we're preparing ourselves because we know to fill the pool up, it's going to be $500 to fill it up. It's going to be $2,500 for the liner. And we're just keeping our fingers crossed there's not a lot of repairs to the floor of the pool, because that could bring the price up as well. And at the same time, and right about that time, right before they put the new liner in, Becky loses her job. Now, what was huge about that, well, I mean, Becky made twice as much as I was making. And that's not an exaggeration. She really made twice as much. And so when we lost her income, that was huge. The housing market was crashing. She was in the housing market, and it was crashing. And there's not any opportunity for her. She had, as soon as she lost the one job, another company picked her right up because they were still hot. They were still doing business. They brought her in a lot lower, but they gave her a seat. But within 30 days, they went cold and they were shutting their doors. And within 30 days, she was out of a job again. So now we're looking at unemployment. At least she could make, because she, her last couple of years were phenomenal, so her unemployment is going to be way above minimum wage. And there are no other jobs for her to go to. Everybody was shut down. So, she went on unemployment. Now we're down to 25% of the income that she was bringing in. I still had my job, which was fine. But the problem was, we had so much debt. We had a car payment, a motorcycle payment, and then the utilities on the house. When we first moved in, and we would operate the pool pump, air conditioner, just typical utilities, it was about $500 a month. Plus, on top of that, we've got 5 kids in the house that are using the stove periodically throughout the day, making pizzas or whatever. So the stove's constantly on and off. The kids are in and out the door, so the air conditioner's running overtime. The problems with the pool pump, they put the pump much higher than the pool itself, so the pump is working overtime trying to draw that water uphill. So that was a big expense. The air conditioner or the heat pump on the outside of the house is really just barely big enough for this house, and it was not keeping up with all the traffic that was going in and out. So I was struggling. Well, not just struggling, I was failing. I mean, if I could make the monthly bills, it was just barely. And a lot of times we didn't. the kids, the groceries alone. We were going to save a lot, just buying the minimum that we could. And with all 5 kids, we were still spending $1,100 a month in just groceries. So the house payment, it was either keep the lights on or make the house payment. Becky and I, we didn't know what we was going to do. It was bad, and it got serious really, really fast. And at the same time, we're internalizing all this stuff and not wanting the kids to know what kind of dire straits we were in. So it's going to get serious, like really fast. So, hey, you are loved by the Lord. He loves you. You are the righteousness of God through Jesus Christ. And I just hope that you have a great day, a blessed day. And I'll talk to you some more tomorrow. It's going to get interesting. I'll see you. Bye.